Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Yes, it is Thursday. It is the Three Amigos. And first off, we need to hear from Dion. Where is Dion?
I am in a place with horrible Wi-Fi. Buffalo, Wyoming. Let's hope it holds up.
Buffalo, Wyoming. I could say that I've never been to Buffalo, Wyoming. I didn't even know there was a Buffalo, Wyoming. How about you, Matt?
I did not know there was a Buffalo, Wyoming. And I am not there.
Yeah.
But you can tell that because of my internet.
Exactly.
Yes, good to be here.
Good to be here. Yeah. So, guys, what I want to do in this episode is there are lots of people on the internet, YouTube, and people I'm talking to in our network, right? One rental at a time. They're like, housing is unaffordable. How can you guys do it? It has to go down. It's not fair. And I just thought we should talk about it. Is housing totally unaffordable and a crash is all but certain? Are we going to plateau and catch up? What's going on? And we'll try Dion first here.
Well, let's hope it works. The problem is people get stuck with price fixing. We remember when prices were a certain number and interest rates were a certain number. We didn't track interest rates going down, would let prices go up. Some of us a little bit older are remembering when a 15-year mortgage was the standard. And when it switched to 30, people said for several years, this will never be a regular thing. It will go back to 15. Nobody will want to pay a mortgage for 30 years. And now we're talking about 40-year mortgages. And it's an asset class. Mm-hmm. Price is based on what someone's willing to pay for it. Just because it costs more doesn't mean it has to come back down. In other words, we would be paying eventually what the prices were 20 years ago. And I don't ever see that happening.
Yeah, I agree. How about you, Matt?
I mean, fingers crossed, that's what happens to pricing.
Yeah, I would love prices to go back to 2010. That would be awesome.
Yeah, you want me to talk my book? Crash, baby, crash. That's talking my book because I've got more cash than 95% of the investors out there.
Yeah.
And so that makes a buying frenzy for me. So it's unaffordable compared to what? Yeah. And, the argument that I always make with people is when they say it's unaffordable, I say, how many people are buying homes for $450,000 in cash?
Yeah.
Almost none. Everybody's buying with a payment. And so the payments are not unaffordable. Maybe the down payment is, but again, if you can't put 10 to 20,000 bucks together for a down payment,
you may not want to own a home. Yeah.
You probably shouldn't own a home because clearly you have zero financial discipline. You haven't implemented the things that you need in order to get ready for that next step. Because Mike, the first thing we always tell people is the most important thing about real estate investing has nothing to do with real estate. It's being financially right. Yeah. That's the first and most important.
Yeah. Get your money right. Yeah. When I hear questions like this for me, and I think you said it, Matt, I always go back to compared to what? And Dion brought it up, right? A lot of people that have only been looking at real estate for 5 years are pointing at a chart about price. And it's never been, I don't know about never, maybe in the 20s, it was about price, but yeah, it's always been about payment, and payments are, less than payments are less today than they were in 06.
Yes.
For the average house. They're just lower, even though the price is 20% up, the interest rate's half or, more than half. So the payment is actually lower today than in 06. And we've had 15 years of wage inflation.
Yes. So it's not a little bit lower, Mike.
No, it's not.
It's markedly low, like 20 or 30% less.
Lower, yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy lower.
Yeah. The other thing I got to think about is I'm starting to appreciate that even I, as a mainly real estate investing channel, I have a mix of audience that watch us. And maybe I didn't appreciate this in the beginning. Some of the channels out there for real estate really are talking owner occupied first, or at least primarily, and then maybe a little bit of investing accidentally. I am starting to appreciate that if you are speaking primarily to owner occupants, that housing may be unaffordable, and certainly in some markets, but it's not the payment, it's the down payment. That is starting to become a problem, and it certainly became a bigger problem in 2021. when median price jumped 100 grand in like 6 or 7 months. So,
right.
Dion, when you think about real estate investing, actually, no, let's see if we can put the head on as an owner occ. What do you think is more difficult? Is it that saving the down payment, or is it qualifying for the monthly payment?
I think the biggest barrier to entry for home ownership is saving the down payment.
I agree.
People buy based on payment, so they know what that payment's going to be. Right. You had a video with Matt, the mortgage guy, about a new product coming out in November about small multifamily, which is the 5% down payment on a duplex is what helped me reach financial freedom. Okay. And it's not that it's a better loan product, it's that you can do a lower down payment without being forced into FHA, which has PMI forever without refinancing. Is designed for somebody with worse credit, worse debt to income ratio. So people with good credit and a good debt to income ratio are going to have the option to use a conventional loan as long as they're under the threshold of income. But I had a perfect answer. Sorry.
Okay.
We had the problem in 2006 to 2008 where people were buying properties borrowing more money than they should, 105% financed.
Oh, yeah.
And in the comments for the video where you guys talked about the new loan product, one of the commenters said, this is going to lead to the crash because people are going to be able to borrow money they shouldn't. And that's not really the case this time, because the problem last time was that combined with adjustable rate loans.
Exactly.
Which we're not seeing now. Exactly. People are getting fixed rate debt at the low down payment, and they know what their payment's going to be. So unless there's an actual life change that they experience where they can't make that payment, they won't have the problems that we did last time.
I couldn't agree more. Even though their down payment on a fourplex, so this product will be for fourplex house hacking if you want to, 95% LTV, 80% of area income, I think is what it is. Again, Matt, the mortgage guy's channel has a video on it today in detail. But yeah, it's not the 105% loan. It's not the, hey, we're going to give you the whole loan, plus we're going to give you the money for furnishing. You know how many times I heard that in 2006? It was crazy. It was crazy. So what do you think, Matt? Is it the payment or down payment?
Oh, it's definitely down payment. And so the only challenge is that if, the government gets stupid and starts giving away that money, then that's going to inflate prices more than what they're actually giving you. Yeah. First thing. Second thing is now you're looking at a 5% to buy a 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that makes house hacking more important than it's ever been. And it's going to raise, man, thank God that we're all so smart, because it is going to raise that asset class like you read about, you read about that asset class, which for the last few years has not performed like single family. It's performed well, but not as well as single family. No. But now guess what? The run is on. Now it's the next two. Like I said on my channel, on my live stream, I said, I believe the best asset class to own in the next 5 years is going to be dupes, tries, and quads.
I will say, haven't thought about it, but I would agree with you 100%. Because I think multifamily had their run for me from like 2015 to 18. Yep. For me, it's been all single family homes, and dupes through quads have been they've been great for house hacking, but they haven't really really didn't make sense for me. That's because I don't do that. But yeah, if the next generation, the millennials and Gen Z, really get onto this house hacking thing, which really seems like it's going to, man, I'm glad I got a lot of fourplexes.
Yeah, I'm telling you, those 4s, 3s, and 2s, and especially the 2s, because the 2s were always so attractive. The dupes were always so attractive because they followed the same residential lending standards that a single family home did. Mm-hmm. But if you're bringing 3s and 4s into that equation now, holy cow, like those things are going to run. And, thankfully that's an asset class that we've put basically all of our money into.
Yeah.
True like commercial
chips in the middle.
Yeah. We bought a lot of duplexes and tries and quads. We bought a lot of them in the last 18 months because I believe that they were an undervalued asset. And I thought that what you could get for rent, you were maybe 10 to 15% less than what you're getting in the same unit size in a single family home. Mm-hmm. But I was getting 2 of them and it wasn't twice the price.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think they're going to run.
Yeah. And Dion, you probably would agree with that. You do a lot of house hacking. You have a bunch of units. Yes.
I do. And what I really like is that somebody with your number of units is closing on a duplex tomorrow.
I am.
Increasing the number of units you have with a small multifamily. And you've said you're getting a 10% return on that, which is my goal on multifamily. I would buy those all day long.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, I am in my market of Fresno. The average that I talk about is about a 6 to 6.5. I found a seller who owns a duplex in his 401k. He owns it free and clear. The duplex is older. He's worked out a relationship with his 401k, whatever, that they'll do lending at 50%, but it has to be on newer stuff. The units are occupied. It's really tough to sell stuff in California that's occupied because of the eviction thing. I happen to know the building and the team. So I'm like, I'll buy it, but I got to buy it here. He was trying to sell it here. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, here's my number, kind of take it or leave it. And he's like, first he said, I'm going to list it for a while. Didn't get anything. He's like, okay, it's time for me to buy some stuff in a nicer part of town, newer. So he took it. So yeah, I'm going to get a 10% and a 6% market. Closes tomorrow. I wired my money this morning. It's all good.
Awesome.
So thank you for, that's always fun to talk about. Earning 10 and a 6. Yes. I will do that every day.
I close on a dupe tomorrow too.
Oh, you guys are just awesome. I got to send you guys some cards, man. We need to get more of these damn cards going on.
I got to get you those sent.
Come on, man.
I'm the worst. I know. But yeah, honestly, these deals, like these numbers, I'm seeing double digits on every deal I'm looking at right now.
Are you sure?
Double digit. It's because it's not in California.
Yeah, exactly.
But your prices inflate faster than ours. Yeah. So yeah, let's go double digits. The numbers are nuts.
Yeah, let's go back to the down payment because I want to really hit this again and appreciate it because it's not the payment. I think we all agree. So the other thing I'm seeing a mix on channels because I'm trying to pick up this. Where am I off? Right, these other owner occs. When I look at the owner occupant kind of stuff, they're still using 10% down as kind of their number, right? Mm-hmm. And if we're going to talk owner occ first time buyer, 10% is the wrong number. I actually, it doesn't take a lot. You go to Google and type in what's the average down payment first time home buyer, and it's 6%.
Right.
Right. So again, if the national average for a home, which today I think is 366, 10% is 36 grand, but 6% is 21 grand. So I think we need to start talking about the right number. Let's just call it 20 grand. So if you were someone that was wanting to get into a home and you had to save up to $20,000, what are some things you guys would do right off the bat? We'll go to Dion first. This seems to be working.
So not only did I have to save $20,000 to get into my first place, but I had a bad debt to income ratio. Ooh. I moved into an apartment and rented out my house, which cash flowed a couple $100 for 2 years. The element is time. For 2 years, worked overtime, avoided life creep, kept the cash flow from the house, was able to save that $20,000. Used a 5% down conventional loan on a duplex, which lowered my housing costs by $1,200 a month, doubling my savings rate, making the next one easier to save for, which is why I'm excited for this program to come out, because people who are just starting out, this is the way to get through the door.
Yes.
I love that. How about you, Matt? You were eating on the dollar menu to, as a present or a reward. So let's talk about how you saved the money in the beginning.
Blood and plasma mostly.
No, this is whatever you can.
But you understand, it's
it's really good stuff.
No, it was whatever, like truly whatever we could do. We were dollar menu for a treat. We were, it was Red Box at the time for $1. Yeah. Like we figured it out. Like even I remember having a conversation with my wife driving home from somewhere where they had talked about the fact that they had basically just paid $5 to stream a movie on Comcast. And I was like, we are never doing that. We will get our asses in our car. We will drive to a Red Box and we will bring it home, period. Yeah. For $4, I'm getting my ass in the car and I'm going and getting that Red Box. So it was just goofy, funny stuff like that. But yeah, it adds up. It continues to add up over time. And I mean, you saw the numbers on the spreadsheet. It was every 12 to 18 months for 13 years. I moved 9 times in 13 years. And you know what? I wouldn't change any of it. I would not change any of it.
Yeah. What I wouldn't want to tell anybody that it's, again, housing's not unaffordable. I would certainly agree. It's down payment. That's the catch for most folks. It's probably the catch for investors as well, but I think it's most It's the most acute for owner ox. If you can house hack, 3.5% down, 3%, this new 5% down loan. But again, it does take time, right? Dion left his house and moved into a rental. Talk about sacrifice. Matt was, dollar menus and red box instead of this. Olivia and I immediately whacked all of our expenses 10 to 20%.
Yeah.
We didn't reward ourselves with anything for a decade, like nothing. And the reward will pay off, but I'm not here to tell you that was fun. I'm not here to tell you that was easy. Saving a down payment in a world where costs are going up.
Yeah.
Kids are expensive. We were raising a daughter. It's tough, but what I want to tell you is getting on the property ladder is worth it. Leverage this loan product. Again, go to Matt, the mortgage guy. He talks more about it today, but we're going to go into another topic in a minute. But Dion, how can people follow you, get part of your world?
Right here on YouTube. In a week or so, I'll have better Wi-Fi. Dion Talk Financial Freedom.
And you, Matt?
Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube and lumberjacklandlord.com. But Mike, one real quick thing. One of the things I was thinking that we just did in a deal that it's been a long time since we did it. We got closing costs wrapped in.
Oh, wow.
So you can get up to 3.5% of closing costs wrapped into that deal. Yeah. So even when you're doing a 5% conventional, you can get 3.5 up to wrapped into the deal. That means it was actually showing up with a 1.5 on the deal. So we got a deal done for $8,000 out of pocket.
And this is that was
a fourplex.
It was a friend or a family member you're helping get their first house hack.
Yep.
And this is the 4-3-2-1 that you created in my course.
It is. It was $8,000 out of pocket. He's got a 4-unit now that cash flows with him living there. It cash flows $300 a month with him living there for free.
This is amazing because when Dion and I did that choices exercise, 5 months ago, Dion's housing number was negative. I'm like, negative. What are you talking about? Negatives. He's like, Michael, I'm house hacking. I'm like, yes. Show off.
It's the best. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for this. It's a lot of fun. I look forward to number 2.
Thanks, Mike.